that are light anymore. To keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Jesus, who is the image of God. Verse 5. For what we proclaim, this is Paul talking about the message that he's preaching to the church in Corinth. For what we proclaim is not ourselves, but Jesus Christ as Lord. He's saying we're not the ones in charge of you, church in Corinth. Jesus is, with ourselves as your servants. Again, this is Paul picking up on what Jesus had already said. He is all over Jesus' metaphors. We are the servants for Jesus' sake, the master. Verse 6, for God who said, let the light shine out of darkness. And when did God say that? Genesis, that's the very beginning. This is God from the beginning saying, here's been my plan all along, light out of darkness. For God who said, light shine out of darkness, has shone in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. So how do I go from being someone who was in the dark to someone who is now in the light? That means that at some point in my life, and you have this part of your story as well, at some point in your life, the light of the face of Jesus, as Hebrew called him, the radiance of the glory of God, shined into your life and caused you to go from dead, drunk, asleep, darkness, to awake, sober, self-controlled, son and daughter of the light. And praise God that he has done that to you. The light shone to you, and it woke you up. So there's this indicative of this is who we are. We are these children of the light. And he goes on from there to say, this is who we are. This is what's happened to us. Then he goes to verse 6 and 7. He says, okay, now because of who you are, because of what's happened to you, so then, now here's what we got to do about it, guys. So then, let us not sleep as others do, but let us keep awake and be sober. There's this word that floats around in pop culture. And some of you, when you hear this word, it brings about a very negative connotation, but I'd love to redeem it for the sake of the church. Our culture talks a lot about being woke. You want to learn what being woke really is? It's not about being woke culturally. It's about being woke spiritually. And what Jesus does is he calls his church to be woke spiritually. Now, here's where I want to pick on the church a little bit. Before we bash and lose our minds, and dare I even say hate a woke culture, let us not first look in the mirror and maybe ask this really hard question. What if how woke, in the terminology that you think it is, the culture is not due in large part because of a lack of spiritual wokeness from the church over the last decades, dare I say even centuries,